जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजनवल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय यशोदानंदना जय ब्रजजनरञ्जना जय यशोदानंदना जय ब्रजजनरञ्जना जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तिरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तिरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय राधा माधव की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जैसे गुरुदेव की हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं मुदीरयेत्. Before reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of God Narayana, unto Narayana, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Shri Vyasadeva, the author. नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. By regular attendance in classes of the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So Hare Krishna, Prabhupada Mataji's. Thank you for joining. And just share the screen. So today we'll be discussing from 4th canto, 18th chapter, verse number 21. Yaksha rakshamsi bhutani pishacha pishitashanaha bhutesha vatsa duduhu kapale shatajasavam. Yaksha rakshamsi bhutani pishacha pishitashanaha bhutesha vatsa duduhu kapale shatajasavam. Any two of you can recite?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Continue, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yaksha rakshansi bhutani pishacha pishitashanaha shanaha bhutesha vatsa duduhu kapale kshataja savam Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Just one more.
यक्षरक्षांसि भूतानि पिशाशापिशिताशनाः भूतेश वत्सदुदुः कपाले क्षतजासवम्. हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी.
Hare Krishna. Synonyms, word to word meaning. Yaksha, the Yakshas, they are descendants of Kuvera. Rakshamsi, the Rakshasas, meat eaters. Bhutani, ghosts. Pishachaha, witches. Pishita asa ashanaha, who are all habituated to eating flesh. Bhutesha, Lord Shiva's incarnation, Rudra. Vatsaha, whose calf. Duduhuhu, milked out. Kapale, in a pot of skulls. Shataja, blood. Asavam, a fermented beverage. Translation and bird purport by His Divine Shilpupa ki jai. Then the Yakshas, Rakshasas, ghosts, and witches, who are habituated to eating flesh, transformed Lord Shiva's incarnation Rudra, Bhutanatha, into a calf and milked out beverages made of blood and put them in a pot made of skulls. Purport by Divine Shilpupa ki jai. There are some types of living entities in the form of human beings whose living conditions and eatables are most abominable. Generally, they eat flesh and fermented blood, which is mentioned in this verse as Shatajasavam. The leaders of such degraded men, known as Yakshas, Rakshasas, Bhutas, and Pishachas, are all in the mode of ignorance. They have been placed under the control of Rudra. Rudra is the incarnation of Lord Shiva and is in charge of the modes of ignorance in material nature. Another name of Lord Shiva is Bhutanatha, meaning master of ghosts. Rudra was born from between Brahma's eyes when Brahma was very angry at the four Kumaras. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki. Om Gyan Jamrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagara Jatam Sahagana Raghunatamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganalita Shri Vishaka Tamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhan Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva cha Patidana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yonta Pravishya Mama Vacha Imam Prasuptam Sanjeevayate Kalashakti Dharaswadamna Anyam Cha Hasta Charana Shravanato Gadin Prananamo Bhagavate Vishayatavyam Mukam Karoti Vachana Bangam Lingati Girim Yatkripatamam Mudapam Namo Vishnu 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 Namo Vishnu 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 Jai Shri Krishna. So Hare Krishna, Prabhu and Mataji, thank you very much for keeping your appointment today, 22nd of October 2025. And today is a very, very auspicious day, Govardhan Puja. So Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Happy Govardhan Puja to everybody. And today we'll be discussing from 4th canto, 18th chapter, verse number 21. So this chapter is entitled Prithu Maharaj Milks the Earth Planet. See, in fact, in 4th canto, 17th chapter, 3rd verse, Vidura is inquiring from Maitreya Muni. He asks, my dear Brahmana, since Mother Earth can appear in different shapes, why did she take the shape of a cow? And when King Prithu milked her, who became the calf? And what was the milking pot? So that's what we are seeing in the 18th chapter from verse number 12 up to verse number 26. So 4:18:12 it starts, after hearing the auspicious and pleasing words of the planet Earth, the king accepted them. Initially, he was not accepting all the logical arguments which the Earth was giving to King Prithu for not killing her, right? So ultimately, he accepted. And now King Prithu then transformed Swayambhuva Manu into a calf and milked all the herbs and grains from the earth in the form of a cow, keeping them in his cupped hands. Now, in the 13th verse, he says, others who are as intelligent as King Prithu also took the essence out of the earthly planet. Everyone took this opportunity to follow in the footsteps of King Prithu and get whatever he desired from the planet Earth. See, in the purport of this 13th verse, Prabhupada says the planet Earth is also called Vasundhara. The word Vasu means wealth and Dhara means one who holds. So all creatures within the earth, they fulfill the necessities required for human beings, and all the living entities can be taken out of the earth by the proper means. So that's what is showing, like taking out whatever each person is taking out. Like the first 12th verse, uh, King Puttu transformed Swayambhu Manu into a calf and milked all the herbs and grains from the earth in the form of a cow. And he put it cup in his hands and took it there. So just like when a cow, when the calf is there, it gives very lovingly, it gives a lot of milk, right? And you have to take it in your hands, or there's a pot where the milk is taken. Similarly, each person is taking according to their own facilities. So, as suggested by the planet Earth and accepted and initiated by King Prithu, whatever is taken from the Earth, either from the mines or from the surface of the globe or atmosphere, should always be considered as the property of Supreme Personality Godhead. And it should be used for yajna towards the Lord Vishnu. See, as soon as the process of yajna is stopped, Earth will withhold all the productions. It will withhold. It will not give vegetables, trees, plants, fruits, flowers, or other agricultural products and minerals. It will stop. So, as it is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, the process of yajna was instituted from the beginning of creation. So, the point is, by the regular performance of yajna, equal distribution of wealth, and the restriction of sense gratification, the entire world will be made peaceful and prosperous. That's the main purpose of this yajna. However, in this age of Kali, the simple performance of Sankirtan yajna, that is, holding all the festivals as initiated in ISKCON, right, should be introduced in every town and village, Prabhupada says. So, intelligent men should encourage the performance of Sankirtan yajna by their personal behavior. This means they should follow the process of austerity by restricting themselves from illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. So Prabhupada says if the intelligent men or the Brahmanas of society, if they follow the rules and regulations, certainly the entire face of this present world, which is in such a chaotic condition, would change and people would be happy and prosperous. And the 14th verse, it says, all the greats, now they are taking out from the cow, right? Earth. All the demigods made Indra, the king of heaven, into a calf. And from the earth, they make the beverage Soma, which is nectar. In the 16th, they say the sons of Diti and the demons transformed Prahlad Maharaj, who was born in Asura family, into a calf. And they extracted various kinds of liquor and beer, which they put into a pot made of iron. In the 17th, it says inhabitants of Gandharvaloka and Apsaraloka, they made Vishwasu into a calf. And they drew milk into a lotus flower pot. So the milk took the shape of sweet musical art and beauty. In the 18th verse, the fortunate inhabitants of Pitraloka, who preside over the funeral ceremonies, made Aryama into a calf. So with great faith, they milked Kavya, that is food offered to the ancestors, into an unbaked earthen pot. See, in Bhagavad Gita 9.25, it is said, Pitran yanti pitrivrtaha. Those who are interested in family welfare are called pitrivrtaha. See, there is a planet called Pitraloka, and the predominant deity of that planet is called Aryama. So he is somewhat of a demigod, and by satisfying him, one can help ghostly family members develop a gross body. See, those who are very sinful and attached to their family or house, village, or country, they do not receive a gross body made of material elements, but remain in a subtle body composed of mind, ego, and intelligence. So those who live in such subtle bodies are called ghosts. See, this ghostly position is very painful because a ghost has intelligence, mind, and ego and wants to enjoy material life. But because he doesn't have a gross material body, He can only create disturbance for want of material satisfaction. So it is duty of family members, especially the son, to offer oblations to the demigods, Aryama or Lord Vishnu. From time immemorial in India, the son of a dead man goes to Gaya and at a Vishnu temple there, right, offers oblations for the benefit of his ghostly father. So it is not that everyone's father becomes a ghost, but the oblations of Pinda are offered to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu so that if a family member happens to become a ghost, he will be favored with a gross body. However, if one is habituated to taking the prasad of Lord Vishnu, there is no chance of his becoming a ghost or anything lower than a human being. Hmm. Prasadam is so powerful. So in the Vedic civilization, there is a performance called Shraddha, right? By which food is offered with faith and devotion. So if one offers oblations with faith and devotion, either to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu or his representative in Pitraloka, Aryama, one's forefathers will attain material bodies to enjoy whatever material enjoyment is due to them. So they do not have to become ghosts. In the 19th verse of the inhabitants of Siddhaloka, as well as inhabitants of the Vidyadhara Loka, they transformed the great sage Kapila into a calf and making the whole sky into a pot. They milked out specific yogic mystic powers. Then inhabitants of planets known as Kim Purusha Loka made the demon Maya into a calf. And they milked out mystic powers by which one can disappear immediately from one species and appear again in different form. So like that. In the 21st verse, which we are discussing today, the Yakshas, Rakshasas, ghosts and witches who are habituated to eating flesh transformed Lord Shiva's incarnation Rudra, Bhutanatha, into a calf and milked out beverages made of blood and put them in a pot made of skulls. And in the 22nd verse, next verse will be, see, cobras and snakes without hoods, large snakes, scorpions, and many other poisonous animals took poison out of the planet Earth as their milk, and kept this poison in a snake wood. They made a calf out of takshaka. See, Prabhupada says in the purport, within this material world, there are various types of living entities. And the different types of reptiles and scorpions mentioned in this verse are also provided with their sustenance by the arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The point is that everyone is taking his eatables from the planet Earth. So, according to one's association with the material qualities, one develops a certain type of character. So, if one feeds a serpent milk, the snake will simply increase his venom. However, if one supplies milk to a very saint or sage, the sage will develop finer brain tissues, no, by which he can contemplate higher spiritual life. So the Lord is supplying everyone food, but according to the living entity's association with the modes of material nature. So the living entity develops his specific character. In the 23rd and 24th verse, the four-legged animals like the cows made a calf out of the bull who carries Lord Shiva and made a milking pot out of the forest. So they got fresh green grasses to eat. Ferocious animals like tigers transformed a lion into a calf, and thus they were able to get flesh for milk. The birds made a calf out of Garuda and took milk from the planet Earth in the form of moving insects and non-moving plants and grasses. The trees, in the 25th verse, it says, the trees made a calf out of the banyan tree, and thus they derived milk in the form of many delicious juices. The mountains transformed the Himalayas into a calf, and they milked a variety of minerals into a pot made of the peaks of hills. So, the 26th verse, it is said, the planet Earth supplied everyone his respective food. So, during the time of King Prithu, Earth was fully under the control of king. So, all the inhabitants of the earth, they could get their food supply by creating various types of calves and putting their particular types of milk in various pots. That's what we saw. So, this is the evidence the Lord supplies food to everyone. As it is confirmed in the Vedas, Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman. Although the Lord is one, He is supplying all necessities to everyone through the medium of the planet Earth. See, there are different varieties of living entities on different planets. And they all derive their eatables from their planets in different forms. So, on the basis of these descriptions, how can one assume that there is no living entity on the moon? Right? Even every moon is earthly, being composed of 5 elements. So, every planet produces different types of food according to the needs of its residents. So, according to Vedas, Shastras, it is not true that the moon does not produce food or that no living entity is living there. In the 27th verse, my dear Vidra, chief of the Kurus, in this way King Prithu and all others who subsist on food created different types of calves and milked out their respective eatables. Thus they received the various foodstuffs which were symbolized as milk. Thereafter, King Prithu was very satisfied with the planet Earth, for she sufficiently supplied all food to various living entities. Thus he developed an affection for the planet Earth, just as if she were his own daughter. So after this, Maharaj Prithu, he leveled all the rough places on the surface of the globe by breaking up the hills with the strength of his bow. So by his grace, the surface of the globe almost became flat. See, in 5.5.10 purport, Prabhupada says the earth over which Maharaj Gaya ruled is compared to a cow. The good qualities whereby he maintained and ruled the citizens are compared to the calf. A cow delivers milk in the presence of her calf. Similarly, the cow or earth fulfilled the desires of Maharaj Gaya, who was able to utilize all the resources of the earth to benefit his citizens. So this was possible because he was bathed in sanctified water by the honest daughters of Daksha. So unless a king or ruler is blessed by authorities, he cannot rule the citizens very satisfactorily. So through the good qualities of the ruler, citizens become very happy and well qualified. See, while narrating about the Ashwamedha Yajnas performed by Maharaj Yudhishthira, Suta Goswami says in Bhagavatam 1.18.6, Lord Shri Krishna caused 3 well-performed Ashwamedha Yajnas, that is horse sacrifices, to be conducted by Maharaj Yudhishthira, and thus caused his virtuous fame to be glorified in all directions, like that of Indra, who had performed 100 such sacrifices. See, in this verse, Indra is being addressed as Shatamanyur, or one who has performed 100 Ashwamedha sacrifices. Now, Yudhishthira Maharaj had done only 3. But Suta Goswami mentions that just by doing 3 sacrifices, he became as famous as Indra. So it is important to note that whether we do 3 or 100, that doesn't determine the greatness of a person. The perfection of doing any sacrifice or service depends on how much the Lord is pleased by the service. In case of Prithu Maharaj also, when he was about to do the 100th sacrifice, Indra, out of envy, tried every possible manner to steal the horse and thereby stop the sacrifice. Right? So initially, not understanding the mood of Indra or the will of Lord, Prithu Maharaj was trying to stop Indra from stealing the horse. But when Lord Brahmaji advised him to just stop with 99 sacrifices and not agitate Indra by doing his 100 sacrifice, right? Prithu Maharaj immediately obeyed Brahmaji. And the Lord was pleased. And he gave his darshan to Prithu Maharaj in the sacrificial arena. That's why in 118.6 purport, Prabhupada explains why Yudhishthira Maharaj's fame spread far and wide. The king of heaven is thousands and thousands of times greater than Maharaj Yudhishthira in opulence. Yet the fame of Maharaj Yudhishthira was not less. The reason is that Maharaj Yudhishthira was a pure devotee of the Lord, and by his grace only was King Yudhishthira on the level of the king of heaven. Even though he performed only 3 yajnas, whereas king of heaven, Indra, performed hundreds. So that is the prerogative of the devotee of the Lord. The Lord is equal to everyone, but the devotee of the Lord is more glorified because he's always in touch with the all great. You know, the sun rays are equally distributed, right? Sun rays. But still, there are some places which are always dark. This is not due to the sun, but to the receptive power. Similarly, those who are 10% devotees of the Lord, they get the full-fledged mercy of the Lord, which is always equally distributed everywhere. In one of the lectures, Prabhupada says, in every planet, the living entities or human beings, they are of different grades. Just like in this planet, in some portion of in this planet also, right, in our own planet, in some portion of this world, there are savages, uncivilized persons. And in some portion of the world, there are civilized persons, intelligent persons, Krishna conscious persons. As there are different grades of persons in this planet, right? So similarly, there are different grades of beings, living beings in or human beings in different other planets also. So the higher and lower grades are calculated in terms of Krishna consciousness. See, consciousness is there everywhere. Every living entity it is there. Not only human beings, but also animals. Consciousness is there. But the difference is consciousness without Krishna is lower grade. And consciousness of Krishna in different degrees, they are higher grade. And when the consciousness is completely Krishna, that is the highest position. That is the real position of the living entity. See, the purport of 3:20:21, Prabhupada says that demons who are born from the body of Brahma were called Yakshas and Rakshasas because some of them cried that Brahma should be eaten, and others cried that he should not be protected. The ones who said that he should be eaten were called Yakshas, and the ones who said that he should not be protected became Rakshasas, man eaters. So the two, Yakshas and Rakshasas, are the original creation by Brahma and are represented even until today in the uncivilized men, right, who are scattered all over the universe. They are born of the mode of ignorance. Therefore, because of their behavior, they're called Rakshasas or man eaters. In 10:6:26 to 29, so the evil witches known as Dakinis, Yatudhanis, and Kushmandas are the greatest enemies of children. And the evil spirits like Bhutas, Pretas, Pishachas, Yakshas, Rakshasas, and Vinayakas, as well as witches like Kotara, Revati, Jeshta, Putana, and Matika, are always ready to give trouble to the body, the life air, and the senses, causing loss of memory, madness, and bad dreams. So, like the most experienced and evil stars, they all create great disturbances, especially for children. But one can vanquish them simply by uttering Lord Vishnu's names. For when Lord Vishnu's name resounds, all of them become afraid and go away. The purport very beautifully Prabhupada says, while decorating the body with tilaka, we give protection to the body by chanting the 12 names of Vishnu. Keshava Narayana Madhava, right? Although Govinda or Lord Vishnu is one, he has different names and forms with which to act differently. But if one cannot remember all the names at one time, one may simply chant Lord Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, 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 Vishnu. And always think of Lord Vishnu. Vishnu Aradhanam Param. This is the highest form of worship. If one remembers Vishnu, so Vishnu always, even though one is disturbed by many bad elements, one can be protected without a doubt. The Ayurveda Shastra recommends Aushadhi Chintayet Vishnu. Even while taking medicine, one should remember Vishnu. Because the medicine is not all and all. And Lord Vishnu is a real protector. The material world is full of danger. Padam Padam Yad Vipadam. Padam. So one must become a Vaishnava and think of Vishnu constantly. This is made easier by the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended Kirtaniya Sada Harihi Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. And Kirtana Eva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Vachit. This is a very beautiful verse in Narayana Kavacha, 6:8:24. This is the Narayana Kavacha actually. Gadeshani Sparshana Vishpulinge Nishpindi Nishpindi Ajita Priyasi Kushmandavainayaka Yaksharaksho Bhutagrahamshu Nayacho Nayarin. In the translation, say, "Oh club, in the hand of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you produce sparks of fire as powerful as these thunderbolts, and you are extremely dear to the Lord. I am also his servant. Therefore, kindly help me pound to pieces the evil living beings known as Kushmandas, Vainayakas, Yakshas, Rakshasas, Bhutas, and Grahas. Please pulverize them." This is Narayana Kavacha Sloka. See, the fight between Krishna and Banasura. So this fight, is spread all over the universe. So demigods such as Lord Brahma from higher planetary systems, along with great sages and saintly persons, right? Siddhas, Charanas, and Gandharvas, all being very curious, to see the fight between Lord Shiva, right? Lord Shiva, then Krishna, Lord Shiva and Krishna fight was there. So Lord Shiva is called Bhutanatha because he's assisted by various types of powerful ghosts and denizens of the inferno, right? Bhutas, Pretas, Pramatas, Gohyakas, Dakinis, Pishachas, Kushmandas, Vetalas, Vinayakas, and Brahma Rakshasas. So the Supreme Personality of God Shri Krishna simply drove all these ghosts away from the battlefield with arrows from his celebrated bow, Saranga Dhanu. He just drew them away. In 10.23 Bhagavad Gita translation, Krishna says, of all the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of Wealth, Kubera. Of the Vasus, I am fire, Agni. And of mountains, I am Meru. So Purport Prabhupada says there are 11 Rudras of whom Shankara, Lord Shiva, is predominant. He is incarnation of Supreme Lord in charge of the mode of ignorance in the universe. The leader of the Yakshas and Rakshasas is Kubera, the master treasurer of the demigods. And as he is a representation of the Supreme Lord. And Meru is a mountain famed for its rich natural resources. See, in one of the lectures, Prabhupada says, there are three qualities in the middle world. Brahma is the incarnation of the passion, mode of passion. Vishnu is incarnation of the mode of goodness. And Lord Shiva, incarnation of the mode of ignorance. So all these three avatars, although they are different manifestation of God, in the scripture, this is recommended that if anyone wants to get out of this metal entanglement, he has to worship these incarnations in the mode of goodness. Vishnu avatar. These are described in Bhagavatam. See, one may say that if three of them are incarnation supreme, why particularly to Vishnu? Why not Lord Shiva? Why not Lord Brahma? It is given. Baba, see, just like Papa says, just like I require fire. See, fire is actually there. See, just like wood is produced from the earth. Okay. And fire is produced from the wood. So although the source of production is the same, but still I require fire. See, I cannot have fire from the earth or from the tree. I have to take the wood, the fuel. This example is there. So although the source is one, still unless I get fire, my purpose will not be served. Okay, just put on the wood or tree, it's not. I have to get a fuel. Fire has to come. Similarly, this Vishnu and Shiva and Brahma, right? From gross earth, the wood is produced like tree, right? And from the tree we take wood. And from wood there is fire. So when we get fire, then we can serve our purpose. Similarly, although these three avatars are there in the middle world, we have to take shelter of the Vishnu avatar, goodness. So far spiritual progress, one has to be situated in the mode of goodness first. Therefore, we require to be Brahmanas, qualified Brahmanas. Then Vaishnava. Brahma janati iti Brahmana. Brahmana does not mean caste. Brahma means one who knows the supreme Brahman. He is a Brahmana. And then, after being Brahmana, then you have to transcend that position and put yourself in the pure goodness. Shuddha Sattva. In Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 24.330 purport says, there are three modes of nature in the middle world. But when one is situated spiritually, he is above the material modes, even though he lives in this material world. Krishna says in 14.26 Bhagavad Gita, Mam chayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samati teitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. In material consciousness, however, even one who is situated in the mode of goodness, right, is susceptible to pollution by the modes of passion and ignorance. This is we should be careful of this. When one is simply in the mode of ignorance, one becomes a devotee of Lord Shiva. Because Lord Shiva is the predominating deity of the mode of ignorance within this material world. However, when one is completely free from the influence of all the modes of material nature, one becomes a pure Vaishnava on the devotional platform. Srila Rupa Goswami says in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulyen Krishnanu Sheelanam Bhakti Uttama. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord, Krishna, favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. The position of Vishuddha Sattva is the position of uncontaminated goodness. Not just goodness, uncontaminated goodness. Shuddha Sattva. So, on that platform, one can then understand Aradhyo Bhagavan, Varjesha Tanayas, Tad Dhama Vrindavanam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the son of Nanda Maharaj, is to be worshipped along with his transcendental abode, Vrindavana. Another beautiful thing is given that those who do not regularly bathe are supposed to be in association with ghosts and crazy creatures. Very important point. Those who do not regularly take bath, are supposed to be in the association with ghosts and crazy creatures. See, Lord Shiva appeared to be like that. See, Shiva is actually fitting. He is very kind to persons who are in the darkness of the mode of ignorance, such as unclean drunkards who do not regularly bathe. See, Lord Shiva, Prabhupada says in that purport, 4 to 14 to 15, Lord Shiva is so kind that he gives shelter to such creatures and gradually elevate them to spiritual consciousness. Although it is very difficult to raise such creatures to spiritual understanding, Lord Shiva takes charge of them. And therefore, as stated in the Vedas, Lord Shiva is all auspicious. See, thus by Lord Shiva's association, even such fallen souls can be elevated. Sometimes it is seen that great personalities meet with fallen souls, right? Not for any personal interest, but for the benefit of those souls. So, in the creation of the Lord, there are different kinds of living creatures. Some of them are in the mode of goodness, some in the mode of passion, some in the mode of ignorance. So, Lord Vishnu takes charge of persons who are advanced Krishna conscious Vaishnavas. Lord Brahma takes charge of persons who are very much attached to material activities. But Lord Shiva is so kind that he takes charge of persons who are in gross ignorance, whose behavior is lower than that of animals. So Lord Shiva is especially called auspicious. See, the water of the Ganges, is supposed to rest on the head of Lord Shiva. The Lord Shiva is an incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead, who sustains the entire universe by different potencies. Lord Shiva is described in Brahma Samhita, right? Kshiram yata dadivikar vishesha yogat sanjayate nahitata pratagasti heto yam shambhutam apitata samupaiti karyad govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Milk changes into yogurt when mixed with a yogurt culture. But actually, yogurt is constitutionally nothing but milk. Similarly, Govinda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, assumes the form of Lord Shiva for the special purpose of material transactions. I offer my obeisances at Lord Govinda's lotus feet. See, the Kumaras, Sanat Kumaras, are described as the elder brothers of Lord Shiva. See, when Kumaras were born out of the body of Lord Brahma, they were requested to get married and increase the population. In the beginning of the creation, there was a great need of population. So Lord Brahma was creating one son after another, ordering them to increase the population. But when the Kumaras were requested to do so, they declined. They wanted to remain brahmachari throughout life, Naishtika brahmachari, and be engaged fully in the devotional service of the Lord. So the Kumaras are called Naishtika brahmachari, meaning they are never to marry. Now, because of their refusal to marry, Lord Brahma became so angry that his eyes became reddish. And from between his eyes, Lord Shiva or Rudra appeared. The mode of anger is consequently known as Rudra. So Lord Shiva also has a Sampradaya party, right? Known as Rudra Sampradaya. See, there is a very beautiful letter written by Srila Prabhupada to one of his devotees, disciples. That is written on 12th November 1971 to Nityananda in New Orleans. So he says, "My dear Nityananda, please accept my blessings. I am in due receipt of your letter dated 20th October 1971 and I noted the contents. I am very pleased to know that your temple is doing nicely and there are sincere souls trying to understand this Krishna consciousness process. You must always remain very serious and enthusiastic about chanting and hearing the message of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and set a good example for the new devotees to follow." Very nice point. You must always remain very serious and enthusiastic about what? About chanting and hearing the message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And thereby set a good example for the new devotees to follow. Prabhupada says Bhakti Yoga is a process for all ages, but the method is different in each age. The rascal people have got some idea of bhakti according to their whims. Some meditate on light, but really, real meditation means to concentrate on Krishna. Prabhupada mentions an example of summary punishment is this. If you are sentenced to be hanged, but instead you are given a simple pinprick, then that is very nice. You're supposed to be hanged, but you're just given a pinprick. Very nice, right? So Prabhupada says, Krishna minimizes the devotee's suffering to the lowest. So long as one is engaged in devotional service, he is immune to the reactions of his past sinful activities. But if he chooses to give up this devotional service, then he has to undergo all these reactions. Prabhupada mentions very encouraging statements, right? For all devotees, chanting, attending arati, taking prasadam, attending classes is compulsory. If it is possible, everyone may go on Sankirtana. Principally, there are four sampradayas. Nimbarka Sampradaya coming from the four Kumaras, Shri Sampradaya coming from Lakshmi, Rudra Sampradaya coming from Lord Shiva, and Brahma Sampradaya. Vivaswan is in the Brahma Sampradaya. So all the Sampradayas are related with one another because the conclusion is the same. That Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and living entities are his eternal servants. So it is a basic principle that one must accept a bona fide spiritual master in order to achieve the highest perfection of life, love of God. So the basic principle is that one must accept a bona fide spiritual master in order to achieve the highest perfection of life, love of God. And see the next statement what Prabhupada gives in this letter. Prabhupada says, I thank all of you very much. He says, I thank all of you very much for accepting me as your spiritual master. And he says, and I promise that I will take you back home, back to Godhead. Such a wonderful guarantee Prabhupada is giving. He says, I thank all of you for accepting me as your spiritual master. In fact, my Guru used to say, you're all useless, but still I am accepting you. That's right. We are not qualified, we don't deserve, but still they accept, right? I thank all of you for being accept me as a spiritual master, and I promise that I take you back home, back to God. I ask you all to promise me. But Krishna, Prabhupada says, I promise that I take back. But he says, I ask you all to promise me to always chant at least 16 rounds, follow the regulative principles, read all books, and try to preach Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. And Prabhupada says, so far my qualifications are concerned, I'm simply trying to carry out the order of my Guru Maharaj. Hoping this will meet you all in good health. Your ever well-wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Jai Shri Gopal ki jai. See, in the Bhagavad Gita, we understand that the living entity is not only human society, but also other living entities. There are 84 lakh species of living entities, right? Of which 400,000 are human beings. And out of that, there are many species of human who are not civilized. The civilized form of human society is called Aryan society. Aryan family means following the Vedic principles. So very important points. So there was a question to Srila Prabhupada. Why should a person try to endeavor to find God? Why should he try to see God? So Prabhupada answers, why should you take shelter of your father? Why the children, small children, always seeking the help of the father and the mother? Why? Can you answer this? Why a small child, as soon as he is in some difficulty, immediately cries for father, mother? Why? So the person who asked the question, he said, because they are helpless. They need their father. Therefore, because you are helpless, you must seek God. You are helpless. Always you are helpless. That is knowledge. That is helpless. See, in 2.7 Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, no, after all the arguments and everything, he surrenders to Krishna. He says, Karpanya dosho patas swabhavaha prichamitam dharma sammura chetaha yashreyasya nishchitam bruhitan me shishyastaham shadimam tvam prapannam. Krishna, from today, I am your disciple, you are my spiritual master. I am completely bewildered, I am confused, I don't know what to do. So please instruct me what is beneficial for me. So when that helpless situation comes, then you surrender to Krishna. That is knowledge. So we are always, my Guru Maharaj always say, you should every time pray this to me, because you will always be confused in this world. It's always giving you troubles, and you are certain junctions of your life, you need to take some decisions, right? So always surrender to Krishna, surrender to your Guru, and he will guide you. No, that is knowledge. So one should understand that in spite of all our advancement of so-called material knowledge, we are helpless in every respect. Boaz mentions it is in this class we were taking in America. He was telling, in your country, you have got very good arrangement for education. No scarcity of anything. Then why a section of people are turning to hippies and considering helpless and confused? Why? What is the want they are feeling? What is the answer? Your country is not poverty-stricken country. It's a very rich country. You got all the resources. You have good, nice parents, nice government, nice food supply. Why the younger section turn to hippies? What is the answer? The guest said they are not satisfied. Dissatisfaction. So, unless you see God, unless you understand God, in spite of all your material advancement, you will feel vacant. Therefore, you should seek God. And then one more question was, what is the result of the transmigration of the spirit soul? Prabhupada says the idea is to save yourself. Suppose I am now very happy Frenchman. I think it was a Frenchman who had asked this question. I'm now a happy Frenchman. But if I next life I get another, if I get another life, a degraded life, then what is my position? Therefore, one should understand, one should prepare his next body in this life. Just like a student studies, very carefully to prepare for his next level. This human form of life should be prepared to get next life. Next life, permanent life, that is possible. Permanent life, if you transfer yourself in the spiritual world, you get permanent life, full of knowledge. Satchidananda Vigraha, eternal life, full of knowledge, full of pleasure, full of bliss. So you should try for this. Human life is meant for that purpose. Otherwise, you're missing the chance and you become Rakshasas, Pishachas, ghosts, so many other things, right? So you should never come into that situation. Just pray, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So stop here. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai Shri Prabhupada. Vancha kalpatarubhya kripa sindhu bhaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavim. It's a very, very auspicious day also today, Govardhan Puja. So Giri Govardhan ki jai. Happy Giri Govardhan to all of you. So just if you surrender, just like in the Vrindavan, no? First times when the rains, which was sent forth by Indra, they were all saved by Krishna by lifting the Govardhana hill. So what happened, right? When Krishna lifted the Govardhana hill, he was a small boy, right? Left hand in this small finger, little finger he has lifted it. And all the cowboys, everything, all the Vrindavan Vasis, he asked them to come under him, under the mountain. They just ran inside. That much faith. If we were there, small child, it will fall anytime. We don't have faith, we'll not go. So that much faith, just like the Vrajvasis, we should have. Whatever Krishna says, accept, just follow as it is. Then you will be saved. Krishna will protect you by lifting the Govardhan, by lifting and throwing out all of your anarthas in our hearts. Kama, Krodha, everything will be cleared off just by surrendering to Krishna during this wonderful month of Damodara, by offering ghee lamps to Lord Damodara, Yashoda Damodar, by reciting Damodar Shtakam. So this is a very wonderful association. So stop here. Thank you very much, Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. If you have any questions or anything to share, please go ahead.
Prabhupada's love for his disciples, Prabhuji, is unmatched, and it's transferred to even people like me, and maybe I feel that when you were reading the letter, felt like as if you were reading, Prabhupada was reading it to all of us and advising us and thanking us, and it was so nice, Prabhuji, touching. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Murali. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
He's almost all pervading, Prabhuji. He's all pervading.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
He said, the main thing is, Lord, I promise you that I will take you back to God. So much conviction he has, right? But the only thing you promise, you chant 16 rounds.
He's pleading with all of us.
Pleading. So wonderful. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, I was worried about this verse, no, what I can speak. But it really, when I was going through the whole chapter, it's a really wonderful chapter actually. So we should not come to this stage. We should not become like a ghost, rakshasa, all these things, right? If you don't have a gross body, you cannot. Ghost means you'll be struggling. Then you have to depend on your sons or right. So many other conditions have to be. But if you have prasadam, that's what no, it says. No need to worry. You will definitely get a human body or go back home back to cottage.
Prabhuji, if we from starting of our life, if we start a Krishna consciousness, there will be no need of taking oblations, no Prabhuji, because we are in Krishna conscious. Everything goes to Krishna only.
Correct. So we have to offer it to Krishna, whatever is, that is yet karoshi yad darshan, it says, no, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer it to me. That has to be done.
In daily activities also, we should think of that only, no Prabhuji. In every activity, it
Yes,
karoshi
yes,
yadasa.
correct, absolutely. True, Mataji, very nice. That's what the yajna, that is. So we cannot do any other yajna. The Sankirtan yajna is the best which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given to us.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji. Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, if nothing more is there, we'll stop here, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ravithan Prabhu, for this opportunity. Glorify the Lord. Glorify us. Prabhu, you are still the host. If you want, you can close. Or... Okay, thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Santosh Prabhu, Govardhan Prabhu, Nirmala
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Yachana Mataji.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Santosh. Hare Krishna. Shanti Mataji and Swati Mataji. Hare Krishna. Nirmala
Hare
Mataji, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Balaji Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dada Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Oh, nice to see you again. Hare Krishna. Okay. So take care, be safe. Hare Krishna. Have a wonderful Govardhan Leela pastimes and hearing pastimes, and maybe going to temple we can have the Govardhan Parikrama. Right? Simple, very easy. Shortcut Govardhan Parikrama we can have. Hare Krishna. So I'll close here now. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, bro. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.